fairy tales, myths, lore, and esoterica, interpreted and read by Jeremiah Cody Banuelos. Alright, so here's Kaschey the Immortal by Nikolai Rimsky-Korsakov. And in this video, I'm just giving you like a further look at what they would say is arrangements have been made, And I have like my favorite quote is Ephesians chapter 2 verse 1 is, "And you were dead in the trespasses and sins." Alright, well, this opera was composed, this is like I just read it out, but as like a story, and I might try to rewrite it, but it was written by Nikolai Rimsky-Korsakov, and I have some notes right here. I'm kind of still trying to figure out how to, I don't know, do I write a script or is it just notes, but anyways, the opera was composed in 1901, 1902, just about the the beginning of the 20th century. And at that time in the world, there was a shift in behavior of the societies of these countries. World War II hadn't really happened yet, or World War One for sure hadn't happened yet, but the events preceding that was just a different a lot of constitutional monarchies were established, and a lot of people just just different types of society types. The world was really starting to get past the enlightened age, and we're well into the industrial age, and it was just a different breed of people came about, where it wasn't like you were a traditional family anymore, or if you're royal or whatever, it wasn't just a traditional life. It was the people that, all of a sudden everybody was kind of just an equal, under the Bill of Rights, which is a good thing. But this, just goes to show exactly how where the world was at even today, about how this stuff happens. People get manipulated to be into a forced marriage, and this opera was like I said, it was composed in 1901 to 1902. It was completed in 1902. It was the first performed the same year in Moscow. And Rimsky-Korsakov's Kaschey the Immortal is virtually unknown in the United States. When it was premiered in Moscow in 1902, the audience cheered, but the composer felt that they were at a loss over the work nonetheless, and only cheered because the Muscovites had a weakness for me. And it's when you get into the story, it's just it's the details in it are just so it's you never know how crazy something is until you actually read or you experience this in real life. And I'm going to talk about all the different magic and the different ways that they manipulate people and stuff. But in Russian folklore, Kaschey, also known as Kaschey Besmitri or Kaschey the Deathless or the Immortal, is an extremely negative character, an evil wizard or demon who kidnaps young women and keeps his soul, or as he calls it, his death, unattached from his body in a remote, hard-to-reach place. And that's the main key here, is that these people will work together to just pretty much isolate somebody and then kidnap them. And it's just it's just the reality of this situation is just so it's just very awful. And it's most of the time when I read these fairy tales, it's a fun time, an intimate time between me and people. And this is just so because I've had experiences where they try to like get you to join them and stuff. There's different groups, you know, and I'm gonna talk about more about that stuff. And anyways, the audience cheered, you know, but nonetheless, they only cheered because Muskrats have weakness for me. But you know, in Russian, it said, Kashi cannot be killed by conventional means. Targeting his body, his soul or death is hidden separate from his body inside a needle, which is in an egg, which is in a duck, which is in a hair, which is in an iron chest. Sometimes the chest is crystal and or gold, which is buried under a green oak tree, which is on the island of Buyan in the ocean. As long as his soul is safe, he cannot die. If the chest is dug up and opened, the hair will bolt away. If it is killed, the duck will emerge and try to fly off. Anyone possessing the egg has Koshi in their power. He begins to weaken, and then he becomes sick and immediately loses the use of his magic. If the egg is tossed about, he likewise is flung around against his will. If the needle is broken, Kashi will die. And how old is he? You know, he's old, and probably like 1,000 years old. The main person that I have discovered is a person named Ibrahim. It's like Ibrahim Baghdadi, and he's a like a jinn. You know, like pretty much like a like some people are like Nephilim children, where it's like a Luciferio, or like the Satan's child, you know, or Lucifer. And then he is another one, and I don't really know his real name, like what the dragon is, but that's essentially what it is. It's just like a dragon, you know. I would assume it's related to like Quetzalcoatl, or like the Chinese golden dragon, because in the Middle East they have like the tails of the dragons and the jinns, and they're usually like either green or like gold. And I'm pretty sure it's just another Nephilim person that just they're just awful, bro. They really they just try to manipulate people, and it's like because they were not born under normal circumstance, they just have to like manipulate their way, I guess, you know. And it's just like I'm gonna get into exactly how they like do it, you know. And as far as like keeping his soul safe, it's like what you do is if you leave your body, you can actually hide the soul inside of like a little animal or like an egg. Usually an egg, for some reason is like the best. And I know there's some symbolism in this story where like his body inside a needle, which is in an egg, which is in a duck, which is in a hare. And I believe it's like to like the needle is like a small piece of something, like maybe like an eye, you know, like the eye of a needle, you know. And it's just that, and it's like inside an egg, and then inside of a duck, like which is to fly, and then a hare, which is like the like 7 league boots where you run like super fast, and then an iron chest. And sometimes iron has like a metaphysical connotation, like they say that spirits sometimes can't like interact with anything that's iron because it's man-made, you know. And it's not like a dirt or something. You know, some stuff I just, you know, I'm just getting into. Like recently, I used to always hear about the dreams or whatever, like dreams where people wake up and they have like cuts on them and stuff, or like they have this like not like visions of like, you know, it's like the ghost will attack them. Like they'll like one time that I watched on TV is like this lady was all taking a shower, and like all of a sudden she was in this field, and like she like looked around, and then all of a sudden she heard this like wild animal and like scratched her leg real crazy. Well, you know, in my experiences just recently, I had where like they just like at first I just thought they're like it's just some hair in my eye, you know, but it was like they just kept scratching at my eye. You know, like I went looked in the mirror and it was all like my eyes all like just red, and it was like damn, like they really are like attacking me now, you know. And you know, I mean, it doesn't hurt really, but it's just like a nuisance. But you know, remember, like you don't ever give away your power. Don't ever say, oh well, I can't, you know, do something because of what they're doing. I mean, it's like, bro, you can do whatever you want. Like, that's the thing. Never let them have your power by just agreeing with them or doing anything that they say. But, like, no matter, like, I've had straight nightmares night after night after night, you know, and I had so many nightmares, bro, in a row that I literally got to where I could control people, like possess them, you know, like they call it the craft. I don't like to call it that, but that's what they call it. And it's like to like possess people, like in my dreams, like when I'm asleep. I'll be like in my sleep in my dream, and I mess with some stuff that I be doing it like asleep, and it's just like it's crazy, you know. And then okay, some of his like supernatural abilities is Kaschey can fly and has power over the elements. Dark clouds appear when he arrives on the scene. He easily changes his voice, using it to terrify his opponents with blood-curdling cries, or to charm or induce to sleep when necessary. And you know, when they change the voice, that's something that they say like you're like the kind of magic that is they call like they call like empathetic magic or like imitative, where you'll just like change your voice to sound like somebody that's in their life, you know, like say like if I pretended to be the girl's dad and was talking to the girl and I told the girl to marry this guy, you know, like that's not okay. Or like if it was like I pretended to be her friend, telling her what stuff, you know, and that's what they do. That's how they manipulate you. They'll change the voice. You know, there's a movie called The Leprechaun.
I can't breathe. Please open the suitcase.
And in that movie Leprechaun, he does that, where he'll be trapped in the suitcase and he'll talk all like, be like, oh, can you let me out, little boy? You know, like all creepy. And it's like, that's what they do. They literally do that, you know, and it's like, you know, it's just like illusion, you know, that they just use this big old illusion that we're going to do this shit to you. And I mean, sometimes they do stuff to you, but the reality is, they only can do stuff if you give them that power, you know. And if you don't recognize your own power, you don't just be your own person and stuff, you limit yourself, you know. Like for me, I've had hell of people try to get me to join them and click up, and it's like, I'm not gonna get into like, you know, exactly why, like, because it's like you don't want to join nobody because they'll make you take a vow of silence where you can never talk about this stuff. Like right now, I can talk about this to anybody at any time about, you know, anything. I can talk about any details, you know, any reality. And it's like, but if I joined a society, I would probably have to a vow of silence and never be able to fucking explain nothing to people. And then there's a vow of chastity where you can only have sex with like certain people, like members of their little society or cult or whatever. And that's like never okay, you know, because that's like systematic rape. That's what it really is, you know. It really is. You know? I know that word is never okay, but that's just how you really have to see it. That's reality. And 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 then the charms to induce sleep when necessary. And you know, to be able to sleep, like to put somebody to sleep, sometimes that's cool. But what they do is they'll like use that to like make you miss appointments, and so you're always in bed. And like I've had days where like I just couldn't wake up, you know. And then what they do is you're like this in between awake and a sleep stage, and they just keep you like asleep. It's weird, and they try to attack you. And it's just really the main thing they're trying to do is put fear into your heart and make you afraid. And you know, it's just like that's really the only thing that they want to do is just give you fear. And you know what? That's the only power they really have over you. Because if you just say, you know what, I'm not going to do this shit, I'm not going to put up with this, you know. Because you know what, you start getting loud, You call authorities. You recognize your own power. You call. You know what? You can call me. Even just think of my name. Just say myself. Tell him Jeremiah Cody Banuelos is there. All right. That's so you know what? He's coming right now. All right. And watch the look on their face. All right. I'm not even playing. And it's just like that's the only thing that they really want. You know, they just power to put to sleep. And then he can also turn himself into a storm or a whirlwind. Kaschey is able to see with his eyes closed and has a good nose. It takes seconds for him to smell what he calls a Russian spirit, like a good character, such as a young Russian man who has come to his castle to save the woman kidnapped by Kaschey. And you know, to be able to see with your eyes closed, like, that's cool and all, but you know what? That's another element of those people, like, the way they're designed. Is that's why they rely on illusion. Like, most of the time, it'll be like a little, like a shorter, ugly man that's all, like, shorter, ugly, older man that just don't have no life, and all he wants to do is bully these little girls to do whatever, you know, for sex or for their money and stuff. And you know what? It's like, it's like it's like all that they're gonna want to do is just be mean to you and take whatever they can from you. You know, no matter what. And anyways, like he like they use illusion. Like you're just some ugly little dude, and they'll make themselves seem all bigger and more crazy. And it's like, you know what? They seriously just they will always try to manipulate you because they themselves have no real power, no real standing. You know, like that's the main thing. That if you royalty at all, if you have any kind of blood, like you really something, don't ever give that up. Don't ever just say, okay, I'll say no. You know what I mean? Because you know what? That's what they're gonna want from you. They're gonna want you to be their slave and do their bidding. You know what I mean? And then here's the description. Kaschey's fiefdom is a wretched place, permanently autumnal, with skulls indicating the likely fate of intruders. The princess laments her imprisonment by Kaschey and her separation from her love, Prince Ivan. Kaschey uses his magic mirror to see his daughter approaching, but is horrified also to see Prince Ivan. The secret of his immortality lies in his daughter's continuing to follow his own path of wickedness without feeling emotion. It's Kashevna in her own castle. Like, even right now, I stutter. It's like, I only stutter when someone's trying to make me talk. And it's like, why are they, like, I've been working on this for like a couple of months now, like a month at least. And it's like, why are they trying to make me talk just every night now, you know? But you know what? That's the thing. It might freak you out. Like, I see people driving by my house 24/7, bro. I'll go for a walk, bro, and they're always driving by my house. And it's like, you know what? You never let them scare you. You never let them scare you, okay? Because it's like, bro, they never are allowed to hurt you, okay? Like, if you're pink and yellow, the law of the land is that you can kill them. And that's what they know. And that's what they always try to put fear in your heart. You know, and permanently with skulls indicate the likely fate of intruders. The princess laments her imprisonment by Kaschey and her separation from her love, Prince Ivan. Kaschey uses his magic mirror to see his daughter approaching, but is horrified to see Prince Ivan. The secret of his immortality lies in his approaching, but is horrified to see Prince Ivan. And it's like, that's what I have been experiencing also. It's so trippy how this story is like damn, you know. And it's like, bro, I know there's a girl right now, and it's like, I don't really know what's going on with her because they're isolating her so much. And I'm gonna have to just like drive around and just, I don't know what I'm gonna have to do. Okay, and then like, it's like, he uses this like magic mirror to see his daughter approaching, but is horrified also to see Prince Ivan. And it's like, the daughters, it's usually like a young cabal of girls, and in this case they're like Jewish girls, and they're just like they just get used. You know, they get used, and they have no will of their own. They don't even care about what that. You know, they just they get raped a lot. You know, and it's like, damn, bro. They just because they gave up on their life, and their fathers made them give up their power, whatever they had that I gave them. They just don't like. It's like because they don't have no empathy. Like it's like some people, bro. Like they go through stuff in life, and they want to heal other people with that, and other people they just want to hurt other people. Like the saying goes, that hurt people want to hurt people, and it's like that's never okay. And it's like, you know, you can never just. It's like that's really what at the end of the story is talking about, where it like his death is in her tears. Is when the daughters, you know, they stop supporting their father. You know, usually it's like a rabbi or some pastor of a church. You know, and it's like some spiritual leader, and he has all these people wrapped up in his bullshit, you know, and they like they'll give anything to him, and they think he's all powerful, and it's all illusion, you know. It's like if them people could really control you, let them control you. Just let's see if they really could, you know. One of my favorite things is to go like this, is to say, you know what, like, all right, bro, if you got any kind of power over me, you take this knife right here, look, and you make me stab my own hand, and they never can do it, never, not even one time, like could they even really try? You know, it's like, you know, like, and it's like, well, bro, I guess you don't have no power over me. You know, and it's like that's what they always want, and that's why they just usually try to go after these girls when they're real young. You know, they attack them at night and stuff. And I'm gonna get into that too. Like, I still have some more studies to do on how it's like what exactly am I gonna show you guys to illustrate that. And it's just like, you know, but I cannot stress it enough that that's exactly how that it continues. Is that it's always the daughters that continue this, and it's like, girls, you don't understand. You girls never have to go through nothing, but because they've been brainwashed for so long, they always think that they have to, or it's like the whole town will work together to get one girl's money, her like inheritance. Usually that's what it is. That they'll find somebody with like an inheritance, and they'll just track that little family and all their money and everything, and they just like it's just straight awful. You know, it's just really awful, and especially awful is if the father or anybody else gets involved, because sometimes it's the main thing is that it's like the dad is a wealthy dad, and he ends up, oh well, I want to save my money, you know, my daughter's spendthrift, and I just want to marry her off to anybody, and it's like, damn, bro, like they're just like, that's awful, you know, that's it's a really awful situation to put your kid through. And you know, I just want to let people know that if you ever have anything like that, you call me. And my number is 505-545-9312. And I swear to you, it's like maybe that won't be my number forever, but that's my number right now. And my email, I'm going to put my email on this YouTube, you know, and I'm just like, it's like, you just got to call me and ask me about anything. And you know what? I already gave out my information for my bank, and it's like, you know what? If they ever come to you for money, you ask them. You just tell them, oh, well, you get it from Jeremiah Cody Banuelos, all right? Just like that. That's what you tell them. You know, don't tell them nothing else, right? If they ask you your name, oh, well, my name is Jeremiah. You know what I mean? Just like that. And it's like that's what it means. The secret of his immortality lies in his daughter. Continue to follow his path. And in her own castle, it's like Kashievna in her own castle has a habit of drugging every man who approaches her and killing them while they sleep. In this way, Ivan is duly anesthetized, but as she hesitates to behead him, she is interrupted by the Storm Knight. He is another of Kaschey's prisoners and has been sent to support her, but he has decided it is time to rebel. So he wakes Ivan and tells him of his princess's captivity. The Storm Knight takes Ivan to Kaschey's castle, where the princess has lulled the magician to sleep. As the lovers are reunited, Ka- Kashevna enters, determined to win Ivan for herself. She promises the princess her freedom if Ivan will stay behind with her, but they refuse to be separated. Kashi a- awakes to the realization that his daughter is in love. When the princess takes pity on her and kisses her brow, Kashevna begins to weep for the first time. She is changed into a weeping willow, and Kashi, his powers defeated, dies. As his realm collapses around them, the surviving characters rejoice in their freedom. And that's really something that when the girl, it's like, I've had people they try to compartmentalize me, and they're really just they want to isolate you. And I'm going to talk about some of the examples of like what they have done. But it's like when I started it's like I'm a grown man, and I don't expect no little girl to ever. I mean, it's like, sister, you gotta get it in that heart, get that fight in you, and just say, the hell with this. And like I'm not gonna do what anybody tells me to do, ever. Got full. And it's when you recognize your own power, and then you recognize how they don't have enough power. And you know what? Some people, it's the saddest reality is that they're living in like a total just nightmare, And it's like, honestly, there ain't no excuses for them acting that way, because you know what? Right is right and wrong is wrong. But they help people get kidnapped and stuff, and it's like, no, like, that's never okay. And it's like what they do, but and then it's like when you recognize how powerless they are, it's like sometimes you want to help them, and you gotta protect them. You gotta use our power. I call it the vril, or in the Bible it says, "Oh, you put it on your heart," and it's just like, damn, I never. I just used to always wonder growing up, like why people were the way they were. Like what is going on? Like what is this Twilight Zone everywhere I go? And you know what? It really is just that some people are just so like, because they don't have happiness inside of them. Like Kashi, he probably has no happiness inside of him. He is just someone who like only knows how to steal and manipulate to get what they want. Like I bought this scarf online because I wanted it, but somebody like Kashi, they can't do that. They have to like, oh, I'm gonna manipulate somebody out of a scarf. I'm gonna steal from them a scarf, or I'm gonna do this and that. And it's like, you know what? That really is just, they just are like that. Like, and honestly, as a royal, that's what they do. They always like like don't take responsibility for their own life and their own like happiness, and they say, "Oh, it is the royals' fault. It is pink and yellow. It is people like you, the blue light special. You think you're better than me, and da da da. You're the reason why I have problems in my life, and da da." And you know what? They see it's like just like what I said, but like systematic. Like everybody in like right now in this town, I could try to talk to people about this reality, and literally nobody will ever talk to me about it, because they all have this like vow of silence, like this oath of silence. Just like, oh, well, I have to be quiet. I could never tell these people. And you know what a lot of people tell me? They say, Jeremiah, all my life I've been told that if it's a Lucifario or a blue light special, we have to mess with you. And it's like, damn, like we have to keep talking to you until you give up in life. And it's like crazy, bro. And I'm gonna find more about information about this, where they call it to start a hurt on like one of us, and that's really the beginning of these, where they'll like start a hurt on like a girl, and they'll just mess with her all day long, and they'll hound her and talk to her. And like, that's another thing. If anybody tries to start a hurt or has anything to say to you, you tell them you need to talk to Jeremiah Cody Banuelos. All right, that's who you need to talk to. And you know what? They will leave you alone. And if they don't leave you alone, just say my name. Like, say it and mean it. And And it's like, you know what? They that's how it starts. And then they'll get you to give up in life, bro. And then they'll go and they'll try to they'll just rape you. And then they'll say we're gonna go marry this fucking dude right here. And then they just it's just systematic. And if you're hella rich, they'll just keep taking money from you. And they sell you off. And it's real awful, you know. It really is. And you know, it's just really awful, you know, that these secret societies. It's like, you know what? They think they're gonna get away with this, but it's like this. I'm always here. I will never leave. Okay, like I've had a lot of girls that love me, and you know what? They just all of a sudden disappear, and then they're married now. Like it's like this. If I die a lonely man, know this. I will come back. And it's like, you know what? It's like they will never survive. Okay, they will never survive. I mean, the secret society that will isolate you to marry somebody, to manipulate you out of money or your name, or for you to submit to a society or group or gang to use your divine right. You see, we have this anointing, this power over us. And it's like, they just want to use your divine right. And it's like, you know what? And it's like, they just want to steal your thunder, you know, take away. They'll say, well, it would be like for me, they'd say, they said, Jeremiah, you could be a trained assassin. You know, you could kill anybody anywhere, Jeremiah. And it's like, you could be Lucifer in our society. And it's like, I mean, you know, no. I understand Lucifer being the head of the society, because the way it used to be is that when you was acting up, you was bad, you would get possessed. They'd say, this is Lucifer himself. I wish Lucifer, you know, and that was their way to scare you into just being good. It was like, oh, I better be good. And, you know, it just get, I don't know, it's just stupid, you know, and it's like, they're always that's what they want, you know. And then some of the examples is what they'll do is they'll love bomb you. It's called love bombing, where the whole crew the whole crew will give you something, they'll give you gifts, or they'll give you stuff, and they're just it's like they love bomb you, and they make you feel good. Say, yeah, bro, I'm down. What's up? And then they give you a title, or they over show loyalty. Even I've seen people where they'll set up a fake fight between you and somebody, and they'll have somebody come and say, nah, bro, it's my boy, you know. And it's it is just so it's just crazy what the things that some people will do just for money. It's you think all this work they put into some, they would just be able to start a business and have a good job, you know, or something, or have a corporation, you know. But no, they'd rather manipulate these little girls and these, you know, naive young men out of their inheritance. And you know, on the street they'll call them a trustafarian or something just. And you know what? It's just some people, bro, they just don't know about none of this stuff. And it's you know what? It's unacceptable. You know, and it's these societies out here. It's just this. It's this. You're gonna it's you say my name as much as you can, because when you say my name, it is a death sentence for for them. If you're not righteous, your spirit will leave your body and you'll go into hell if you hear my name. And it's they just that's just how they do it. And then okay, so they love bomb me. Okay, so they love it. And then, well, how are they gonna stay loving you? Well, they're gonna start rumors about you, start false accusations about people to keep them away from you, you know, and then to make it to where only group or societal members are around you. And then, you know, it's that's what they do. They make up hell shit and they talk all kinds of shit. And it's damn, bro, they just don't like they will isolate you for years. And you know what? It's like they will do that if you let them. If you don't ever go talk to somebody, you don't reach out, then that's what's going to end up happening to you. You know, and that's why it's so important that some of these things are hella cliche, but it'd be like free your mind, free love. You know, free your mind to think. Yeah, and it's like, damn, bro, they just you need to fucking. And it's like, you know what? They just they just don't stop. I've seen where the whole sheriff's department, and police department stuff, one group that was started 100 years ago that was real cool, righteous, was the Fraternal Order of the Police, and they used to look out for royals, but nowadays they're just straight. They're just out, like, I guess they're out to get us because they don't do nothing right, And it's like, they just don't do anything good. And it's like, I just really want to know. It's like that's all that they really want to know. It's just every little detail about you. Like it'll be like it's like this. If you feel like you're being followed or something like that, just go somewhere and tell nobody, and then or like and then just go sit somewhere for a little while and just see how many people are gonna sit there and call you and call you and call you. You know what I mean? And then, you know what I mean? And then, if you meet somebody new that's not one of them, and you're over there talking, all of a sudden your phone will be ringing, and all of a sudden somebody's gonna have a bag, or they're gonna have a bottle, and they'll be like, "Hey, boy, well, let's party right now, right now." So, all of a sudden, and then it'll be like they just. And it's like, you know what? The hella, it's like they just don't understand, that like they themselves, that's the like society members, it's like they're guilty, and that's like that. You can never forgive them. Okay, if you forgive them, you let them in their life. Don't ever forget. Don't ever just let them. You know what I mean? And it's like they just want to like hurt you, and it's just so crazy how like pervasive and how much like this girl that I've been talking to, she said, oh, there are all kind of rumors about her. You know what I mean? Her name is like Francesca, and it's like, girl, what happened one day where we were talking all cool, and then all of a sudden she was already married for like a year. You know what I mean? And it's like, damn, bro, like, what? Yeah. And anyways, my last video just got cut off, but anyways, there's a girl named Francesca that I know is going through one of these, and as I delve more and more into this, it's like I'm finding that the reality is, it's like it's simple, but it's not just like, oh, these are people that want to have an arranged marriage and steal money. It's like a societal thing that people just they just don't like women. As I get more into this metaphysical, spiritual aspect of life, if I was reading history, it would be like the esoteric reality. Like, for example, when I had discovered discernment of the spirits, that's when I had discovered that John Wayne Gacy, I believe the guy, Zac Efron played him, but he was actually influenced by Jack the Ripper. I like the discernment. Okay, it was he was influenced by Jack the Ripper, and that's why he went on and killed all the women. And Jack the Ripper was influenced by a Maya Raja from India, and he just didn't like those women the matriarchal societies. I mean, they could be prostitutes, but I'm pretty sure, like, because they do. There was an ancient ritual of sacred prostitution where only the pretty girl will get money, like dowry. It's a. I'm not gonna like teach it all in this little video, but anyways, that's what I have been learning, and I have been learning that there is and it's like the Abrahamic religions influence, and I do believe it comes from just a distrust of the women or matriarchal societies. And I'm going to get into that too, like a good timeline of the world, how from Persia to the Holy Roman Empire to the French, and how Paris is like the center of the world. That's like the new empire, and today it's American, I mean, Paris is still, I don't know, it's still Paris, but anyways, it is this girl, she, I just, like, what happened to her, and that, like, I'm going to wrap up this video, and I'm going to talk about some of, like, what it really means for an arranged marriage. What does that really mean? I'm going to go over some of the magical aspects of it. Like, I kind of went over it a little bit in this video, but I'm just kind of just going to give you guys like a kind of just like a little I want to say cheat sheet of different magical terms that help me understand, because I can like describe the magic, but unless you have something you can really look up, it's not going to really help, and I just I don't know, if you see this, reach out to me, because I want you to know you're worth the effort to put in to get away from these people, and it doesn't matter if like material possession is not a big deal. And remember, Padre Dia, Father Time, anything in the past can be undone. And it's like, always remember, they try to blackmail you, the girls, even the men, but the girls, they'll blackmail you and break your confidence down and just try to control you, and remember that people can only, it's nothing to forgive somebody. Like, it's nothing for me to forgive you. It's nothing for you to just, it's like, when you explain stuff to me, like, the husband or whatever, like, remember, it's like, it's not there for humiliation or to be mean or anything. It's like, so I know how to help you, and just remember that they're always trying to hurt people, always trying to mess with their minds, and that ultimately that's their goal. And so it would be like, if someone's goal is to get me up out of this chair, well, you know what, I better be sitting down, I better sit down. And just remember that, like I said in this video, we are pink and yellow, we are royalty. And even if we're not royalty, you can always use my name. They're not allowed to hurt us, and the mythology of Hel and Baldur, the soul, the sun god, that was the deal she made with the rest of the world. Before she brought me, into this world, we came, from Pleidia. Before she brought me, that was the deal she made. She said, well, I'm not going to bring him back to life unless you guys agree that every living creature on this earth is not going to hurt him. And I mean, so far that has been the truth. And that is the deal with pink and yellow, is that by law we are allowed to kill people, because we're royals. We have that grace. It's just a fundamental reality that we are the people who are in charge. So do not feel indifferent to defend yourself. Don't feel like you can't say no. And above all else, remember that no matter what you have been through, no matter what you have seen, no matter what you have experienced, no matter how hopeless, alone, insecure you are, remember, Jeremiah Codebanuelos is here. God is here. People care about you, and you are absolutely worth it to put in the effort to get out of that situation. And remember that es como así. Si hay muchachos y muchachas allí ningún mucho más sangre de mexicano, latino, lo que sea. Mande como así. Sí. Mi novio, mi hombre, mi padre, mi hijo es jefe de jefes. Y Jeremías Codebañuelos está diciendo tú ayudar a mí. ¿Ok? Mande. Si tienes problemas, porque yo tengo soluciones. En este otro video basta explicar a qué te pasaron con mis hijas. Okay? Give me a second.